Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, man.
It is our season finale, man.
It's hard to believe that season
Season
is...
6 coming to an end.
Yeah, we're done, guys. We love you.
Well,
we don't want to leave you.
all right, hold on. Spoiler alert. We are done for a short amount of time.
Yeah, not done.
Yes, there is a season 7.
There is, but we need a break.
Yeah. Well, I got some vacation around the corner, but we are excited. We're today, we're going to be kind of looking. We just need a laugh today. And, I found this great comedian, and it was really kind of, I know we're not in pandemic mode. That's way past us, but it's just kind of funny of what he's talking about. So today we're going to be looking at a stand-up, just having a little bit of a laugh, breaking it down a little bit. And he says a lot of things that are true, as most comedians do. They have that laugh out there, but that's how the little truth nuggets or whatever come through,
That's because the truth is hilarious.
Yes, I know. So let's get into it today. Come on this journey.
Welcome to Neighbors Don't Knock, the show that brings you hilarious, unapologetic conversations only these neighbors can have. Join them and guests in their weekly mission to expand the neighborhood. Now, here's your hosts, Brian Chambers and Philip Goffrey.
It's you.
It's me. It's you and me together. Yeah. What's going on, all you loyal neighbors out there? How are you guys? Delectably. I don't know. Not
Delectably?
I was about to go with intoxicated,
I don't know
but you
about
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
delectably, but welcome back to the show, everybody.
You guys are joining Neighbors Don't Knock. If this is your first time or your 100th time, we appreciate you being here. A couple of neighbors getting together. We're going to have some laughs. We're going to talk about some things going on in the world today. But make sure you take a moment to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way, when new content comes out, you will be notified. Also, take a moment to go to our pod inbox and leave us a voice message for free. You can go to podinbox.com/neighborsdon'tknock and follow, like, and subscribe wherever you get the podcast.
Absolutely. Pod Inbox is a very underutilized service, and we love it. It is a way for you to interact directly with us, and if you leave us a message on Pod Inbox, it just might wind up on the show.
Yeah,
so it's a really cool
absolutely.
way for you, the audience, to be part of Neighbors Don't Knock.
Yeah, and it
Be
really
our
helps.
neighbors.
It helps with the channel as well, you guys, and we love hearing from you. So we got a lot of stuff in store for our season 7. We're not going to give out too much about that. You're going to want to be on the lookout. That's why you got to hit that notification bell, because you want to be on the lookout for when our season 7 is going to drop. There'll be some teasers out there. So I know secrets, very secrets. I'm going to be taking some time off. I'm going on vacation. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. You're going across
leaving the
pond.
country. I'm leaving the country. I will say this. It was an ordeal about getting my passport. I knew it was expired, but I hadn't paid attention. It's like, pandemic and all that stuff hit. And I was like, I'll do it later. And then all of a sudden, it was reality that we were going on a trip. And I'm like, oh, crap, I gotta get this renewed. I heard horror stories from other people that were like, oh, it took 3 months.
Yeah.
Or the back orders.
They're finally catching up, right? You guys are...
I did all the expedited as much as I could. I got really quickly, I made a call to the courthouse to get an appointment.
What you doing at the court?
Yeah. So, and honestly, it was within a week, because I tried going online and I made like 8 different appointments, because there was like 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out. And then when I found one that was closer to, it was still almost a month out. And when I called the courthouse, they're like, oh, well, we can get you in next week.
That's amazing.
I'm just like, why doesn't your online stuff reflect that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you do work for the government and you happen to have any control over these services, y'all do a really, really bad job of letting people know how to do things. Honestly, YouTube just put up a YouTube video. How do I expedite my passport? Here's a video.
Yeah,
problem solved.
I did all the research. I knew what was going on, but because mine was expired, I had to go through the whole process as if it was my first time. Do
you think maybe they do that just to punish you for letting it expire?
Maybe.
They're like, shame.
Maybe.
Shame, throwing little pickles at you as you walk naked down the streets. Yeah.
All I can say is I was stressed out. I got it in 8 weeks. I paid to have it expedited and everything else, and I got the card, the little, now you can get a a card with it as well if you want, which is good to use like if you go on cruises and things like that. Instead of having your book, you only need the card.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds.
I don't have a card. That's very cool.
Yeah, so now I'm good till 2033. You know, with
and did you do all of your like global entry and all that?
Well,
so
see, that's the problem. So with global entry, you can't get an appointment, even though I already had global entry. You cannot renew until you have a valid passport. So you can't even book an appointment. So what we're going to try to do is when we go to the airport coming back through, we're going to see if maybe we can stop in or on the way. Because sometimes if you're at the airport, you can just jump in on an appointment.
The last time my wife and I were in Mexico, we did the exact same thing. On our return, she went to her appointment, and we got it covered that way. So.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to try to do it that way.
It's a good plan.
You know, if not, I have to wait like 6 months. But I will say, it was stressful 8 weeks. You know, especially when you're leaving. In less than 3 months. I mean, it's just kind of like, it was a little stressful, but, we paid for it. I got everything back with plenty of time to spare. So, just make sure that you read the fine print, take care of it. And when you show
always read the fine print. Yeah.
I can just say this for all you neighbors out there, my advice for passport renewals and even applying for the first time is just make sure that you pay attention to filling out everything and you have all the correct documentation. Don't assume that, this will be fine. No. Double check, triple check, just to make sure, because if you show up with one incorrect box, whether you type it out or write it out, you have to fill out an entirely new form. I had one mistake, and I had typed it out, and I had to, and they give me a new form, but then I had to fill out the entire form. I mean, I had to fill out, like, my parents' birthplace and middle names and maiden names.
This is classic government gone wrong yet again, right? It should be on a computer with a unique identifier and a login, so you can just go in. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Click, it's fixed, and then resubmit and be done.
Yeah, I mean now.
Come on, y'all.
Apparently now, my old passport didn't do this, but apparently now you can do. It's like a photo. It has like the little photo thing with it or something. They can just click a QR code on it and your stuff comes up. It's like photo. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got the RFID.
Yeah, or something like, which my old one didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you are planning to travel, and especially with this summer happening, vacation time, things around the corner, make sure you guys take care of that. It can take up to, it says 7 to 9 weeks if you expedite it, and then 11 to 13 weeks if you don't.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So you want to get on that really quickly. And again, it's a 10-year deal. So, but, I wanted to have a little bit of fun today. I found this stand-up that I kind of felt, it's an older, it's a kind of a new stand-up to me, but it's a relatively older clip.
I have to admit that since we've become friends, I'm very impressed by your taste in stand-up comedy. You always introduce me some really, really good material.
I like smart stand-ups.
Yeah.
I don't like the ones that just shout.
Slap just.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name that was known for like jokes? Dave Attell.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of old school comic, rouses the audience, but really just kind of known for just being filthy with jokes and things like that. And you get tired of it after a while, right? I mean, you like a smart comic. I mean, I love a smart comic that is just witty and, takes his personal experiences, mixes it with the real world. I mean, that's why I love Bill Burr's newer stuff.
Yeah.
Like I love Bill Burr, and we've talked about that on the show a bunch.
So if you're not a fan of shouting, were you like just not a Sam Kinison kind of guy?
No. And for a long time, I was not a Chris Rock fan either.
Oh, wow.
Especially in his early stuff, because he was just like loud. There were some funny moments, but I actually appreciate him a little bit more now than I did. I mean, it's kind of like Bill Burr. I didn't like his early stuff. He was just kind of angry and loud. Now it's very smart. And maybe there's something about a comic as they get older and the way that they just become seasoned or.
Yeah. Well, and you have to, with Chris Rock, now that he's come out as being a very physically abused person to the whole world, we can
smack
post-slap.
He talks about it. But,
I'm sure he does. I would talk about it.
I mean, recently. But I will say this. If you haven't watched that, I do recommend it. I mean, a lot of people...
The slap? If you haven't watched that,
I'm sure you've seen, but his new stand-up, which I know is getting... It's kind of like, I love it or I hate it type of feel, with everything that people aren't really.
It's kind of how all comics are, though, right?
Yeah, I agree. But you listen to in that one, he actually is very smart with a lot of his comedy, and it's I don't want to say that his other stuff wasn't any good, because there was fun stuff. It was just, you know, I don't know. Dave Chappelle had really funny stuff, but it you know, in his early stuff, but then he had a little moment where you're just kind of like, eh. And then now it's just like he's back to, oh my gosh, like you hear the change, and it's really cool to see.
He's a very, very smart man.
He is, and you can see. I love seeing like that, just that journey that comics make as they continue to do their craft. Right? It's really neat sometimes, and so I can appreciate that. And stand up is very, very hard to do. So anyone that is a stand up or aspiring to be a stand up, good luck. It ain't me. It ain't me. But anyway, let's get to this. We're gonna watch this video. It's and hopefully I'm not butchering this stand-up's name. Akaash Singh. Sorry, Akaash Singh. Akaash Singh. There we go. So and he's very smart. I mean, it is titled "Sex Workers Are the New Scientists."
Yes, they are.
So, you know, let's take a gander at what he has to say.
Who else has a job that TikTok made us hate? Anybody? What's up, ladies? How do you guys know each other? Work where? Biopharma. We all just accept that as a thing. None of us know what it means. It sounds impressive. Is it impressive? What does it mean, biopharma? It sounds like the same thing a little bit. We make vaccines. You make vaccines. See how quiet them anti-vaccine ass audience got? They don't trust you, Hey, 3 people clapped, and the rest of this Republican audience was like, get this.
Oh man, I mean,
that's funny.
He kind of has a point though, because it's like they make vaccines, and so you have because we've for a long time, and this is, you know, obviously pandemic heightened all this. You have those that were vaccinated, those that are anti-vaxxers. You know, it's probably going to be an ongoing debate for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
I think he talks about it in a little bit, and we'll watch a little bit more, but. There's probably people that are now questioning flu shots.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they used to probably get it every year, and now they're just like, no, I'm an anti-vaxxer. I don't trust them, you know? I mean, and first of all, what is the probability of running into people who make vaccines in a stand-up club?
You have to wonder, like, are they plants? Because that is...
I don't know. I mean, well, I guess we should say this. Anybody could be in the audience, right? So, but it's just really funny that... that you have someone and he's like, that sounds impressive, but no one knows what you do.
Yeah. I mean, that's why he's either very, very clever on the fly, or there was something pre-planned about this. Like,
I don't know. I think he's
maybe he wrote the routine in such a way where if somebody said something unrelated,
they have to deal with heck.
Steer back towards it, right?
But I mean, that's part of their shtick, right? When they have their material, but then they go at the audience. I mean, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a stand-up that doesn't talk to the audience or say, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, who's that with you?
No, it's all part of the routine.
Yeah, absolutely. So I figure that it is. But I mean, I just, when they biopharma, I don't know what that is.
Well, you do now.
I mean, apparently I do now. They make vaccines. So let's see what he does with this one.
Hey, she put microchips in us! That's the bitch! Yo, ain't that crazy? You saved the world and the internet made everybody think you're killing us all. You saved the fucking planet, and because of the internet, this whole audience is like, this evil bitch.
I mean, he's got a point.
It's
a really good point. It's like she's making vaccines, trying to cure viruses and help us, you know, stay well, and everyone's just like, it's like, oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of true.
Yep.
I mean, we turn on everybody, right? I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Every single person in my life who has passed away in the last year, somebody else in my life is like, look, I don't want to sound crazy, but did they get the vaccine?
Did you get the vaccine?
Like, seriously, every single time I've been like, oh yeah, you know, so and so passed away. It was really horrible. You know, we're struggling with it. Like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that. No,
okay.
Did they get the shot?
I know that you're more conspiracy theorist than I am.
What?
if you've watched the show, Philip is a little bit more. Are they listening?
No, they are listening.
See,
There's really no question about that, Brian.
I mean, have you ever once thought that that microchips were planted using vaccines? No. Okay. I just want to make sure, but you believe they've been planted other ways.
Well, anally.
Wow. All right.
No.
Wow.
No, I don't believe I'm being tracked with microchips. They don't need them. Why would they need microchips?
No. Yeah, well, that's true. I agree with you. I think that some people still actually do agree.
Hang on, let me take a call on my phone.
Well, you believe that they're listening.
Of course they are. Did you not read the Patriot Act? I mean, yeah, of course they are.
So they don't need microchips then.
No.
All right. Well, let's
redundant.
Let's see what he does with this.
Stopping a pandemic so she could microchip us. I got so many fat friends not taking this vaccine. It's like, bro, you suddenly now care about your health? I'll die of heart disease, but not from a vaccine. You want 4 blood pressure medications, and now you don't trust medicine. If you're a guy who works out every day, you watch what you eat, and you're like, I don't know about the vaccine. Look, I don't agree, but I can't argue with you. Good for you. But if you are about to lose a foot anyway, like, what? Just take a shot, dog.
That's really funny.
That's so true though.
It is.
I'm totally with him on that. You know, you work out, you watch your health, you're doing whatever. You know, fine. Yeah, I'm totally with him on that. But there's some people that you're just like, dude, you could use this,
right?
like it's like biting your arm off to in spite of
they're on their 17th
or
drink of the night. They're like, the vaccine.
Well, what's the saying? Bite your nose off to spite your face. What is it?
Cut your nose.
There you go. Cut your nose off to spite your face or whatever.
To spite, not
to
despite.
spite, not despite. To spite. Yeah. So
cutting your nose off to spite your face would be a whole different saying. That would be.
I don't know. I got the vaccine, so I don't know, man. I can't think straight. The microchip in me, that it's got me thinking weird thoughts.
It's corrupted your brain.
I know.
Don't you want to feel something in your left arm before you grab it mid-stroke? You work on vaccines also? Which company? Ajinomoto? You ain't make no vaccine nobody heard of. You ever walk through Walmart and you look at a Hisense TV and you're like, what the is Hisense? They just...
I mean, there are so many drug companies out there, though. So, I mean, who knows what they're affiliated with?
Yeah,
what company?
They don't call it Big Pharma because it's limited, right?
Yeah.
They call it big.
I mean, okay, so next time you guys walk into, a CVS or a Walgreens or, a drugstore, wherever, pay attention, like look and see what kinds of brands there are. And I'm just curious because we all know, big name brands, right? What Tylenol, whatever it is, I've never heard of it.
Unless you're in a Costco, because like, Kirkland made this. Kirkland made that. Kirkland made it. No, Kirkland doesn't actually make anything. But
I bet people really believe that. Just like
Kirkland made this.
These are Walmart brand.
Duracell made that and then labeled it Kirkland, but that's okay.
Some Japanese name on it, so they're like, oh, they must be smart. We ain't never heard of no Ajinomoto. Son, I heard of Johnson & Johnson. I ain't heard of Ajinomoto. You did Moderna. G's up, I got Moderna. Okay.
Oh, see, that's a big, there you go. It's a notable one.
So if I die, I'm fucking y'all up. Next life, I'm coming back haunting the shit out of you. Yo, the internet's a fascinating place, man. We respect them, not at all. And whores, we're like, hey, give them their props. Isn't it funny?
Oh,
wow.
God, yeah. I mean, the OnlyFans pages, people are like, oh, it's a living. They're, you do you, I don't know. It is kind of true though.
We as a society will justify anybody's bad behavior now, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I shoot heroin. Oh, good on you.
Yeah.
That's a lifestyle choice.
You're making a living on your own. It's just like, well, I sell drugs to children. And it's like, as long as you're happy,
that's right? In today's economy, if you have a paying gig, that's impressive. Good on you.
We're almost in a recession. Good for you, you entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You know? I'm just like, but I mean, do we really? I mean, because he's right. The internet is a fascinating place. It can turn on anybody in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter what kind of person you are, good, bad, doesn't matter. Like you could be if Mother Teresa were alive today.
Oh, she'd be torn to shreds.
Oh, exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Right? I'm just
Fascist. Yeah, it'd be terrible. The internet's a strange thing because it's become almost like a living, breathing creature in and of itself, right? Like the mob mentality. The mob is a being, and you're right. It can just turn on you. It's like taking food away from a dog while it's eating, right? It can be your dog of 20 years. Don't take away the kibble while it's at it, man. It's going to go after your hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're,
gonna lose some fingers.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see his response to this.
Hey, sex workers, come on, show them some respect. They're not criminals like scientists. What an odd thing.
That was a good clip, Brian.
Oh, man.
That's actually really, really funny. And
that is funny, but it's crazy where the truth lies in there, right? When he's talking how crazy the internet is, and it may not, and sex workers, yeah, the fact that they're making a living, or it's their choice if they want to do that, right? Respect them.
yeah.
When has a sex worker in history ever really had respect? You know what I mean? It's I'm not saying that they are not human beings and people aren't doing what they need to do. I'm not saying that. But where have you ever ranked, a sex worker as someone that is just
curing cancer for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man.
Heart surgeon, sex worker, man, they're doing their thing. It's just not. It's one of those professions, if you want to call it a profession.
Being a father of a little girl, I can say with certainty that it's kind of a heartbreaking deal, right?
Exactly. It's like you're not going to be proud of that.
No, it's not like you're bringing your little kid to like gym class or the gymnastics or something, right?
My mom or my dad is a sex worker.
Yeah, we're in prostitution school. We got her in early. It's
we don't need to flaunt that idea. It's
No,
like someone's like,
it's not.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm not knocking other people's life choices, hardships, whatever they have to
Yes,
go
you
through.
are.
I'm not. You do what you have to do, but sitting here and the way that the internet kind of, in a small way, he's right, has kind of
glorified.
That's a great way to put it. Has glorified being having an OnlyFans page.
Yeah.
And people say, oh well, OnlyFans, it's not, even if you're not having sex on it. I was like, you're selling yourself.
Yeah, I see so many articles about this in pop media and in like big news services, right? You'll hear about like some elementary school teacher that gets fired over her OnlyFans page. It's like, well, probably don't want to be teaching fourth graders if you're like stripping down nude for your fans. It's just not a good look, right?
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, and some people would just be like, oh well, it's my choice, or are you condemning models or anything like that? And I mean, you can look at it and slice it any other way, but the fact is that you're promoting sexual acts.
Yes, and that's filthy.
And again, I'm not saying that
It's a
you
slippery
can't
slope.
do it. I don't think, but it is. It's a slippery slope, and you're right. I think we have kind of glorified it as and it is predominantly women, because let's just face it, no one wants to see male OnlyFans pages. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm sure a lot of people do, but the bottom line, I think that
I'm speaking, of course, from a male's point of view.
Yeah, I mean, in a popular sense, right, in terms of society at large, across all societies, really, I think that the majority of sex that sells visually is sexualized women sell better to most men, right? Like,
I
there's a
think
reason why
just
all
in general,
music and all film and all TV is sold on that basis.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the same thing with when you talk about models, like who dominates financially or in that type of. It's one of those categories that predominantly women just dominate in.
Right. There's a reason why Tyra Banks' name wasn't Steve.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I think that, is there something that you think is going to come out on the internet in the next couple years that you just will not believe?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not sure where I stand on any of this stuff anymore. You know, I'm a big Ted Lasso fan, like most of the world, and I've sat through it for all 3 seasons, right? And in this last season, forgive me for the spoiler, a predominant character has an open conversation about whether or not he should be trying pegging with his girlfriend. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck is going on, guys? Like, why are we going down this road of everything is okay to talk about in every given environment? Like, Ted Lasso was a super wholesome show. And now I'm thinking about like a really obscure sexual act.
Well,
I don't really get it.
And we can even dial it back to something what we consider a little bit more innocent with like swearing, right? Even on normal TV.
It's gotten way looser.
Yeah, it's a lot looser on normal TV where you can say you can say ass, you know.
Maybe we're just prudes, Brian.
I mean,
maybe you and I are just old curmudgeons that just need to get over ourselves. Fascist neighbors don't knock co-hosts that we are.
I guess I'm with you. I think that it has gone a little bit, but again, that just might be the age and us coming out. You might be right.
I think that everything has a tipping point. Everything, right? Every trend, every culture, everything has a tipping point. So maybe we just have reached the tipping point of like everything's gotten to be a little okay now and glorified, and now we're going to pull back. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm going to be honestly super curious to see going forward. Neighbors Don't Knock is produced by C&G Communications. C&G specializes in small batch voiceover and video production for commercial media, podcasting, radio, and more.
Combining years of experience in podcasting, acting, and sales, C&G offers big media products at small business prices.
That's right. To learn more, visit their Facebook page or email them directly at admin@cngcommunications.com. We're going to jump into one of our other segments that I love, and it's called Could You Be My Neighbor? And this is where we give the hypothetical of who would you want as your neighbor. And this week, we have 3 choices. Glorious choices, I might add.
Glorious.
Glorious. Wow. All right, so who could be your neighbor, Philip? Gregory House, Sherlock Holmes, or MacGyver?
Gregory House from House MD?
Yeah.
Gregory House.
Really?
Oh, I'd love it.
I mean, he's kind of a
He's a total
And now these are obviously fictional characters. We're not talking about the actors that play them or anything like that. But yeah. So
I mean, in fairness, Gregory House and Sherlock Holmes are the same person, except like without the cocaine, right? So,
are you sure about that?
House is the painkillers.
Yeah,
and
painkillers.
Holmes is the cocaine. And occasional opium.
But you wouldn't want MacGyver. Something goes wrong, you just whip out a paper clip or something and fix your air conditioning. I mean,
be hysterical.
I mean, it's like, hey, MacGyver, my brakes on my car went out. Just like, here's a piece of gum, boom, some duct tape, bam, brand new.
Did he ever actually use duct tape?
I'd have to go back and
everyone
double-check
uses that reference with MacGyver, like, I'll be a pack of bubble gum and some duct tape, and
I
don't think he ever actually.
I just think it's
he
duct
used
tape
bubble gum a lot.
Yeah, I know bubble gum.
Bubble gum saves the day in MacGyver like every 4th episode.
But you'd have to go back and check, I guess, because duct tape I think is just common to fix. Everyone's like, oh, just put some duct tape on it, or it's like I broke my arm, just duct tape it up. I mean.
So the reason why my choice would be House MD is because I would love to go over and like crack a beer with the dude while he's like brooding over his piano and just have him tell me about the dumbasses he dealt with that day. Like, hey, Greg, what kind of dumbasses were in the hospital? Like, let me tell you about this dumbass.
Well, that's the other thing that he is kind of a dick. So I mean, it could have been he was the dumbass, or he was dealing with someone actually nice and genuine, and he was just acting like a
Yeah.
So
blew it with Cuddy, man. What a shame. What a shame.
I tell you, I met her in person.
You met Cuddy in person?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She was staying in the same hotel we were at.
Is she like 6 feet tall? She seems like she'd be really big.
She's short.
No?
She's short.
There's something about like the shape of her head that makes you think she'd be.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know actually how tall she was because she was sitting and we kind of sat down. It was at breakfast, so I guess.
How confidently you answered. No, she's short. She was sitting down. But I mean, what are you, an iPhone? You can't measure the height.
But you could kind of tell from somebody.
With LiDAR scanners built in.
If someone saw me sitting and they looked at me, they'd be like, "You are not 6 foot." I mean.
Well, this is fair.
So
our audience sees us sitting next to each other, so this is fair. How about you though? On your question, could one of those be your name?
MacGyver.
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 just for the bubble gum.
Exactly.
Can you imagine how much bubble gum he has on his at all times? Like if I were MacGyver, I would have just pockets full of bubble gum and a pocket knife. It's all I need.
Yeah, I know. The neighborhood watch would be it's like, don't take bubble gum from that strange man. The older he got, don't take candy from him. No, I mean the guy can fix anything or get you out of any situation. So what's someone to have when you're in a pickle, man? That is
true.
That is a
it's
dude
true.
to
And for
have.
all of you preppers out there that think that you're like, well, this man, he never had paracord ever. Okay, he never had a paracord Apple Watch band or a paracord belt or whatever.
Can you
silly
imagine
people
what
come
kind
up
of
with.
technology he has now that he could use? What he could do with? I mean, if what he does with bubble gum just saves
He'd
the
be
day.
like, I made my entire artificial hip out of bubblegum wrappers and paper clips.
Exactly.
I mean, kind of what? He's like
own
106 years old. Yeah.
Though that's the thing. He'll never die.
His dentures are made out of like something he fashioned,
That's his phone, man. It's like
like a glove box handle.
I don't know. The question is for you. Who would you choose to be your neighbor? Greg House, Sherlock Holmes, or MacGyver? Let us know in the comments below
Yeah.
on who could be your neighbor. All right, well, Philip, it has been fun, man. I think we've had a lot of fun for our season finale. It's always good to have a laugh and open up a little bit of conversation.
Indeed, man. I appreciate you introducing me to a new stand-up comedian. I will definitely be looking up Mr. Akaash Singh going forward.
Yeah.
And thank you all for having taken the time to be with us this entire season. Season 6 has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really has. You can always go back and check out previous seasons. So check out our other seasons 1 through 5. There's some great episodes, great neighbors, but we're gonna have some new neighbors that are coming by onto the show. A lot of things that I really don't even want to give away. So you're gonna want to stay tuned. Make sure you hit that notification bell so when new teasers and trailers come out, you will know when our season is dropping.
Yeah, and just because we're taking a break this summer, don't take a break from us. You can go back and listen to all sorts of great content we've had in the past. We've had some spectacular guests on the show. If you've missed any of them, definitely worth seeking them out. Maybe even rewatching a couple that you have seen before or heard before.
Yeah, check out some fun videos. One thing that I will disclose as part of our season finale with our viewers and listeners is that if you guys don't realize this, when we sit down, a lot of times it's so funny that I found us sitting down and watching stand-ups or comedy stuff just every now and then. We make each other laugh. We're like, hey, have you seen this? And it's just kind of become a fun thing. Like what stand-up this week are we going to check out? And it's just funny because, and this is, I was saying this earlier, there's truth into what some of them say. And we need to laugh about some of these things.
Yeah.
So
I like the turn of phrase that you used earlier, actually, when you're talking about Mr. Singh's routine, where you said where the truth lies in that. That was a really nice little duality there. Well done.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And thank you guys. Make sure that you follow, subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast.
With the bell.
Yep. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and hit that notification bell. We drop new episodes every Friday, but we will return for our season 7. Go back and check out other episodes.
Indeed. We're not going to leave you hanging. We have announcements coming over the next couple of months. So stay tuned. And until season 7,
Yeah. Peace.
out.